Did you do stuff with
There's so much.
Kenny
Yes,
Green?
yes, absolutely. Um, so by now, so we're not now. I'm producing. I'm like, it's funny because Eddie called me. I remember. Let me just focus on Kenny Green. Here's the
No,
thing.
no, no. Look, we can
Me and
come back to
Eddie.
Kenny Green, but how did you then?
So,
Okay, you and your brothers, and Cassandra says, "Look, well, I've lost my label because of all the mergers and all
yeah,
the R&B
yeah,
labels were
yep,
closing down."
yep, yep,
Then how did your producing start becoming? How did
yeah.
who?
So that's another crazy one. Like, eh, I was like, man, well, the money's gone. The record company advance that you get that's so hot, it's gone. It was a year and a half, 2 years, whatever later. Everything's done. I'm a single dad. You
Mm,
know, it, I got to figure something out. I came home back to mom and dad. I'm in Charleston. I'm like, well, whew, went for it. And, it was cool. But I don't know. So it was kind of just a regrouping, shell shock. Don't know what I'm going to do, but I piddle away. I got some equipment by then, piddling away, just making some beats just because I can't let it go.
mm.
And I had a dear friend of mine, and Bob's still right there. Bob's like, nah, I'm going to find us another deal. I'm going to find us an international deal because now things are picking up in Europe and
Ah,
all this. So that was the plan. And that plan was good. And so, but meantime, got to figure it out. So I'm working on some music and um, I kept in touch with another friend of mine who ran one of the biggest recording studios in New York and where we did the Redbone record. And, again, it was different then. Like you went to the studio, you wouldn't just do recording at your house.
yeah.
You set up in a studio, people come in, you do your thing. So, we maintained a friendship throughout. And so she was involved in like many artists. And she said, hey, we're talking on the phone one day. She goes, uh, what about, and the thought didn't cross my mind yet. She goes, why don't you produce for other people? And I was like, I'm still stuck in group mode, like we're gonna be stars or whatever. I'm like, I mean, I could do songs, I'm down with that. I don't know how or what. She goes, well, why don't you just work on some songs or stuff you like and let me hear some and maybe we can get hooked up something. So so I did it because I what else? I have nothing going on. Um, and she got the demos. I did. She goes. I love the beats. I'm gonna help you out. Will you come up to New York? Come back up to New York. Do some demos. You could bring your brother Joe. She knew that Joe was the lead singer of Redbone, and
Mm.
he could sing the demos. So, and we'll do some demos and see what happens. So we did that. We went up. She put me in the studio, doing all this. I'm like, just the love of a friend. So we're doing it, and I did. I want to say 3 songs at the most. And so, I felt okay. These might be cool. So here we go again. So she actually, she's dealing with all the record labels, all of them. And she's like, hey, well, I know you got your artists coming in, whatever. Can you check out these songs? And so one person said, okay, I'll check it out. And so I'm up there and she sets this meeting up. We're down in the lab in the studio. And the guy comes in from the record company. And we're sitting there, and now this guy, man, he's ominous. He wasn't all friendly and welcoming. He's sitting there, and he knew he had the power. And I'm sitting there like, oh. And so I'm reliving this as
Yeah,
I
no, go
tell
ahead,
it.
go
So
ahead.
bear with me. So he comes in, and she goes, and she's introducing, she explains the relationship. She mentions Bob. We talk about things because everybody knows Bob. He's like, oh yeah. And he sits down on the couch, man. He's like this. He says, all right, play me something. Man, I'm like, man, see, send me back to Charleston, man. My dad hooked me up construction or whatever. And first the first song, and you always put your best foot forward. So I put my first song on. It was the song. It was it. He's sitting there, 30, 45 seconds in. By the time it gets to the chorus, he's like, play me the next one. That was it, man. My heart said, man, okay, that's it. I appreciate you. Thanks for all this. Inside, I didn't say anything. I'm just sitting there like, he's going by the smash. So I'm like, he puts the second song on. I'm not even looking. Basically, I'm almost at the door. I'm like, just disappointed, but trying to hang in there. But then I look at Suzanne. Suzanne starts smiling. Suzanne is my friend. And then I look at the dude. The dude, you could see his eyes. I'll take my shades off. His eyes was like getting wide, and so I'm like, wait, I'm getting a little anxious. And he stopped it. Once he heard the chorus, stop. Come with me. I'm like, wait, what? I'm gonna get a car. They're gonna pick us up. We're going to the label. And I don't know what's going on. So it's like, go ahead. So we go on, and he takes me over there, puts me in this big room. It's all lavish, luxurious. I'm like, what is going on? This is crazy. No. And so I'm sitting there. It's just me. The assistant comes in and brings me something to drink, and nobody. I'm just sitting there. I'm looking at all these platinum albums on. It's
intimidating.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah,
it really is. It's intimidating. I'm like, maybe who knows what this means? Because again, I've been there a little bit before, and then I ended up back home. So he comes in with this other guy and presses play, puts the tape in. Other guy's like, cool. They stop tape, and they just both get up and walk out the room. I'm like, oh man, dang it, it didn't work. Comes back in, he goes, are you signed to anybody's publishing? And I go, well, no, he goes, we want to offer you a publishing deal for your song. We might get another producer to produce it, but we have an artist that we think this would work for. And then everything just sounded like I didn't even care, because my mind is blown, because they're literally offering me a deal right then and there. And then the one guy says, all right, I gotta have a meeting. He was like the vice president or whatever, and walks out. And so the other guy says, hey, we're gonna need you to stay for a few days. If you can do that, we're gonna put you up at a hotel. But it just starts up this whole, and I'm still just hearing womp womp, because I cannot believe this is happening. So long story short, the group was these little white boys out of Orlando, Florida, called the Backstreet Boys, who nobody knew, and at first they just wanted my song, because they already had producers that were well entrenched with the guys. And I get that, whatever. I don't care. Take the song, praise the Lord. And but then the other producer said, hey man, this kind of needs to stay like it is. We can do some adjustments, but the beats. So it's like, well, how about you guys want to produce it together? And so they put me together with their producer, which was Timmy Allen. Timmy was a VP over at the label. Timmy also, he produced Joe. He produced High Five. He produced just so many artists. It was an incredible bass player, incredible musician. And Timmy became my partner in that project and showed me a lot of the ropes. And that was my entrance into production and songwriting. And little did anybody knew, what was going to happen with those guys. But there it is.
This is over at Jive.
And that's what happened. The Jive Records. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But now, when they offered you the deal, did you call Bob to let him know what was happening?
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. Well, see, what was cool is Bob was my manager.
Okay, so
he manager knew on the whole level, so he knew. But he also, he's top dog attorney. Everybody knew. So that was their first question. It was like, who's representing? It was like Bob. I said Bob Celestin. He's like, oh, Bob, no problem. We do business with Bob all the time. So it was easy to get the deal done and to make sure things were maintained and done right, because I had, I'm clueless. I don't know. I'm over here again, ramen noodles, and now you're offering me this, this deal got zeros in it. I'm like, wait, what? And so Bob made it happen. And yeah, man, it was crazy.
So most of my guests,
so the guy was Dave McPherson.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, so most of my guests, we is he the same Dave McPherson that signed Rough Ends? Yes, it was Dave McPherson. Yes,
probably. Dave signed, man. Dave is
he was he not at Sony? Did he move to
B2K?
Yes, because Jive, Sony bought out Jive.
Yep.
And so, because Dave McPherson is the
Dave
guy who
went over to Sony.
Sony, so he signed. Yeah. So when I interviewed Dave Chance from
he signed the Backstreet Boys.
From Rough Ends, he said it was Dave McPherson that gave them a shot when he had the song. Okay.
Dave was the dude. Dave was my guy too. Let me tell you.
Yeah, everyone.
You know. Yeah, I was scared of him at first, but then we became dudes. He was my guy. Yeah, we actually, it's crazy. We did a song for the Backstreet Boys that ended up on their first international album, and it was me and Dave who co-wrote, and Jeff Sledge, who was another A&R dude, who big time, and me. And Tim, we did the song together, and so he actually wrote a little bit. It was fun times.
To get his name on.
He knew. Can't be mad at him. He knew.
Yeah, but then because part of the biggest things about the industry is how they take advantage of unassuming young act like, we'll give you all this money in advance and stuff. Were you protected? Yeah. Or did you fall victim like many else? Because
here's the thing. It's kind of too, in hindsight, you're always going to say, man, I was victim, this and that. Bob did a good job of like Bob was just the best protecting me. But, it's never, getting your start when you first rolling, it's never going to be what you look back and say, man, I should have been this and that. I mean, that's the nature of it. So I didn't really I can't say I got taken so much. I've been around it. I've seen it happen, again, being around the boys, their things well publicized, a lot of stuff that they went through with Lou Pearlman and, God rest the dead. But, so I've seen it. And again, it's a different day now, because where we understand things now, people would be like, man, I would have never, this and that. Yeah, let me tell you, when you a single dad, single mom, you trying to, feed your people, and someone says, boom, I'm going to take you off the street. And not only that, I'm going to make you a whatever it is. Oh, you're going to take that deal every time. So, and then if you can shine, you shine, and, do what you can.
Okay.
So 50-50,
Hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. But also check out the membership, which is a good way of getting some exclusive videos and actually long videos from day one. But thanks again for watching. Look forward to seeing you again. Thanks.